Hi, I'm Michelle Tennant Nicholson. I'm the Chief Creative Officer at Wasabi Publicity. And as you know, in the pandemic, we've been giving away the 21-day PR action guide, which I will put a bit.ly link into the description. Now, it is we've been in the pandemic for a couple of years now, so I'm just kind of resurrecting some of my Friday chats, and I wanted to bring you somebody really, really special. So the reason why I'm speaking to Della is because not only does she have a degree in communication, but she's also been a TV anchor and a corporate communications officer. Della, welcome. Would you please
Yeah.
introduce yourself?
It's great to be here. Thank you, Michelle. Yes, I'm Della DiPietro, and I started my career in television more years ago than I want to mention, but had the opportunity to both be a producer, a news anchor, a documentary producer, even did talk show host duty for quite some time. And then I went from there to work for a global automaker, eventually becoming a director, and had the opportunity to use both my TV and my journalism skills in producing a whole wide variety of communication programs that were just a lot of fun and very impactful. And I've gone on since then to be a treasurer. I'm an elected official in my hometown. I have been actually for 25 years. I did that while I was still in my career at Ford Motor Company. And now I'm a personal performance coach, and communication has been the underpinnings of all of it, Michelle.
Oh, I just think it's so exciting, and I'm so thrilled to actually have you here so that all of our people seeking press coverage can learn something from you. And I've asked you to really think about what is your pet peeve when you were a TV anchor and people would say to you, "Oh, put me on TV, Della." What was the one pet peeve that you had that you wish everybody would do more of or better? What is it?
I'm going to say something anybody in television would say to you. The story has got to be visual. In television, you are telling the story with the video, and the words are a complement to that, not the other way around. And it may not be how we think as publicists, but it is extraordinarily important when you're trying to get your message on television and to communicate to the audience. The video has got to be compelling, and it's got to tell its story in a very short time frame. And that's also true with the people that you put on television. When you want to have a story that is personal, that really reaches to the heart, you have to have somebody or somebodies lined up who are willing to go on camera and tell that story. And can be an important element of the video as well.
Yeah, and so you all know I've been saying that, and it's part of what we talk about in the PR action guide, which is just a workbook, and it really walks you through how to make your stories compelling for the press. And as you know, I've been calling myself the storyteller to the media for many more years than I would like to admit. And one of the things that I think that confuses people was, what do we mean by visual, Della? So, for example, with our online press kits, the first thing I do in the very first meeting when clients come on board is we talk about photos. And so I'm going to actually pull up, because of the beautiful technology we have today, I can actually show some examples. But before I show some examples, why don't you coach us a little bit through, what do you look for in great photos? What do you look for in great video?
Well, the best video, just like the best photos, you get the story just by looking at it. You don't have to worry about what it communicates, because it communicates clearly. And of course, importantly for video, it can't just be something that's static. It can't be a beautiful building. It's got to be something that's moving. The movement has got to be part of the story. You know, for example, this is a telling one on myself. Early in my years as a TV reporter, I also was a videographer. I had to do both, and I was assigned to go to the fire. I got to the fire after it was already over and the fire truck was leaving. And the story obviously never got on the air. Who wants to look at an empty building where there's like just charred rubbish? And, you know, it wasn't that big of a fire anyway. You've got to get there while the action's happening and have that video be available. The other thing that I think we have now available that we didn't when I first started in journalism is we do have, it can be expensive, but we do have the capability of doing graphics, moving graphics. So sometimes, particularly if you're trying to tell a scientific story, if you've got the money, and I was at Ford Motor Company, sometimes we'd have graphics that would show what an engine looks like on the inside. That can be a really important adjunct to some stories where the visuals are going to be very difficult to come by.
So exactly. And so I also want to have people think about their senses, right? What delights the eyes, what delights touch, right? So we have, here's, over the holiday season, one of the things that I love to do is I love to turn on YouTube and get those fireplaces, right? And then it has like just for 8 hours, it just burns a fireplace. And people thought I was crazy that I would play that in the home. They'd come by at a party, right? And they'd say, "That's weird, Michelle, that you're playing," but they're very popular. And the funny thing is that my husband and I will sit and watch the YouTube of the fireplace, not have the fireplace going. And we laughed the other night and I said, "Don't you feel warm?" So, it's because it's all the sensory. And he's like, "I think I can smell the fire itself." So let me show you some examples of, some sensory stimulating images. So this is the Humane Society Silicon Valley, one of my clients, and you can see here that they have the traditional great, hey, here's our building picture, right? High resolution, and then the headshots and so forth, and they're the president right there with his doggy, right? Love that. But here's their wellness wagon, and you can see they've got not only the wagon, but they've also got something happening. They're telling the story of what they're doing with the dogs. They get so much press coverage because of these images. So sometimes the press will come to us just asking for, "Hey, are you doing any photos of, the recent fire rescue that's actually happening in the San Francisco Bay Area?" And then, of course, they always love these images that they can use. Their evergreen images all year long of these animals. And then this is a boxer that is a local celebrity that kind of, does different events for them. And you can just see that if you're somebody who's responsible for putting images on a particular story, these are going to sing very well for you, So these type of images, they take a lot of time, and we've represented them for many, many years, and they really pay attention to the images and videos that we feed through the press. Now, we focus on earned editorial media coverage. They also use this for their paid and owned media coverage. So paid is simply advertising because you're paying for a message to be out. Owned is, I know you know this, Della, but this is for our peeps who are still learning everything. And then our owned media coverage is everything that you own, like social media, your websites, your brochures, your intellectual property. Everything together is your branding and messaging that tells the story of who you are to the world. So what did you think of these images, Della?
I like them. I'll say a couple of things that I like the best about them. First, I really like the ones where there was an interchange between the pets and the volunteers. And it was also very nice when they were wearing some kind of, badge or whatever that indicated who the volunteer was from. Yeah, it can be very subtle, but you don't want it to just be a generic dog. For a lot of the things you want to bring in your organization with it. So when you see engagement with a person, and either in the background or on that person, there's a logo. I mean, that's absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. Yes. Love those. Oh, I love the one with on the shoulder. That is so sweet.
Yeah.
That is so sweet. Yep.
They do. Now, they have, through the years, they've had the t-shirts on that say, but talk to us a little bit about that, because I think that a lot of clients get upset when they're not credited properly. So what can we do as information officers or leaders of organizations who are going to TV producers and anchors, and we're working with them, and we say, gosh, can you really mention our organization? And then the person says, no, not really, but you can wear a T-shirt with your corporate name on it. What about
Mhm.
that?
Yeah, or you have a nice badge of some sort, right? Or maybe it's something funny, maybe you put a hat on the dog that has your logo on it. I don't know what it is, but you've got to be responsible for making sure that your organization's name gets out. And when you're doing an interview, by the way, if you have the chance to do that, you've got to be the one that gets that name in there. Every single question, and not every single question, but every single answer. And it may sound repetitive to you as you're speaking, but the bottom line is not very much of that interview is going to be used anyway. So you want to make sure that your organization gets included in whatever soundbite gets picked up.
And a fun tip for TV in the pandemic era and post-pandemic era, a lot of the press are furloughed and they're very short staffed. So they also welcome articles that go along with your piece, your live piece, because they like to put that on the website, and you can also get the link there. So that's
Mhm.
something that I always encourage the press. Well, thank you so much for being with us. Any
Yeah.
final tips for all of our PR seekers?
I think the only other one that I would add is have fun. You want to, even if it's a serious story, what gets the most eyeballs are the ones that either have heart or have some fun to it. It's not just getting your story on, it's having your story have impact. And that's the two things that I would say, take a look at. Is there some place you can add fun to the story? It's certainly, can you add heart to the story? You want that story to be one that the viewer remembers when they turn off their television.
Tell us, before I let you go, tell us a little more about what you mean by having heart. I know what you mean, but I'm not sure all of our viewers will. So describe when a story has heart, what does that mean?
That means that what it is that you're communicating reaches the gap between I'm going to start over again. It's when you're speaking with somebody, there's always a gap. There's the speaker who has their own ideas, and then the listener who has his or her ideas as well. And when you're effective as a communicator, you're really looking at how is that message going to land. The stories that land with the most impact are the ones that reach the heart, the ones that you as a human being see. I can see something about that story or that person or that organization and what I care about and what's important to me. It might be an image like that. I love the one with the dog. You just could see the person loves the dog and the dog loves the person. That picture had heart. It could be something that the person says that when they said it, their essence of who they are as a human being was coming through in that sentence or two. It might just be that. Or it can be the environment. Sometimes it's just a gorgeous picture and a few words that I was watching. I don't watch as much TV as I used to. I just don't have the time. But I was watching a Sunday morning TV show that ended with some beautiful, beautiful pictures of a snowstorm and the icicles. And then there was tying that with the warmth of the season. And there was just something about the interplay of the beautiful pictures and the beautiful words that just sang to one's heart about what the season really demonstrates and the opportunity it is. Those are just ideas. There's no formula to it. But when you share it with someone else and they say, gee, wow, then you know you got it.
I want to point out, and everybody here, they've always heard me talk about the you language. And I just want everybody to notice how brilliantly Della uses the you language. And what I mean by you language, and it's really what you're saying about heart. When people want PR, they typically do it for reasons they want to expand themselves, their book, their service, their organization. And so they tend to talk in an I. It's all about me, and I'm doing this, and we're doing this. And I'm always helping the client talk you. And then when you're doing TV interviews, it's the you language, it's not the I language. And I just want to point out that what you said about has heart is that it reaches into that viewer's heart. If it's print, it's going to be the reader. If it's radio, could be the listener, podcast, the listener. And it starts with that you language where you're reaching through and really having an impact on that viewer, reader, listener. And a simple switch of me to you can make that happen. Thanks so much for being with me today. I really appreciate you giving all my fans and followers something to think about.
Oh, it's been great fun. Thank you, Michelle.
And how can people reach you? They can reach you on Facebook with your name?
Absolutely, which is a little bit of a difficult name. So I'm going to say something. Della, I was born in Delaware, so it might be easy to remember, Della. And then DiPietro, of course, is an Italian. It's an Italian version of the son of Peter, Della DiPietro.
Beautiful. And of course, you can always reach Della through me, and I'll post it on all of my owned assets so that you can easily find it. Thank you so much, Della.
Thank you.